In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why I think Solana is probably the best risk to reward crypto out there in the whole market as we move into a bull market. So guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get on with the video. So what we're going to first focus on is this Solana chart. As we can see, guys, we tipped all the way down from a whopping $245 to just under $8, which is absolutely ludicrous. But as I mentioned, there's two types of people in this market. And there's people who sit at the top up here and tell you you're stupid if you're selling because it's gonna go to $1,000. And there's also people who sit in Telegram chats and stuff down here and tell you you're stupid if you're buying because it's gonna go to zero. And weirdly, guys, those are exactly the same people. And if you can do the opposite of those people, then you stand to make very good money in crypto. Now, before we jump in and look at Solana price predictions and all that jazz, I want to focus on a Bitcoin on a logarithmic scale. This was the last bull market that finished pretty much December 2017. You can see a massive rally all the way up to the upside, and then this unfolded afterwards. You can see that this unfolded, then we had like the COVID thing, and we could well have just seen this and be moving in towards an area like this, okay? So I want you to focus on this first of all, because we've seen something very similar. This wasn't FTX because obviously this was back in 2018. This was actually the equivalent of COVID, but I've written FTX because it looks very similar to the FTX one we've just seen. And this is where everyone was saying that Bitcoin was going to go to zero. Lo and behold, this happened afterwards, where Bitcoin went up something like 1,600% from that low down there. But from this point back to all-time highs for Bitcoin was 513%. And you can see that just a couple of years later, it achieved that very feat. And you would have to imagine that we would see Bitcoin do something very similar into the future. That's obviously not on any timeline or whatever, guys. It's just considering that we might see something very similar unfolding where Bitcoin gets back to all-time high and then goes way further than that. Now, if Bitcoin does that, as you know, the rest of the crypto market will follow. When Bitcoin does like 10%, everyone else does 20, 30%. So if we look down through the top sort of 50 tokens, as long as they're not going to go to zero in this bear market, they all stand to see returns probably back to all-time highs, maybe even beyond. XRP, not really sure. XRP obviously hangs in the balance with the SEC, but has the potential to go absolutely massive or go to pretty much zero. With the exception of XRP, coming down to Solana, you can see it's number 10 in position. Solana, during the last bull market, in the top sort of 4 or 5 tokens. There are tokens floating around in here like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu. We know we'll have phenomenal bull markets. They don't really mean anything. They don't really do anything. Loads of these cryptocurrencies don't really do anything of any importance, but they still will have phenomenal bull runs. Solana rose very, very quickly during the last bull market because it's a phenomenal project. Whether it's better than Ethereum or something like HBAR or whatever, doesn't really matter, guys. There's room for all these different ones together. All we know right now is I'd say Solana, perhaps along with Ethereum, are way more undervalued against the actual real world value that they give. And there's a few different reasons for that, which we'll come into just in a minute. But Solana is incredibly fast, it's incredibly scalable, and is very, very much future-proof. And that's pretty much all we need to know when it comes to Solana. And you're probably wondering, well, what's so special about Solana, and why does Solana have such great potential against other crypto projects? Well, glad you asked, guys. As it happens, Solana was heavily invested in by FTX and Alameda Research. This meant that when the FTX drama unfolded at the end of last year, we saw everything that was associated with FTX taking a massive hit. But more recently, we've now seen FTX starting to come back into the limelight, showing that Solana and others got pushed heavily towards the downside, have seen a bigger spring back as to be expected. Now, if we jump closer into this chart, you can see that this was what happened because of FTX, and that has subsequently meant that people started to lose faith in it. And I want to share with you this tweet from Chris Bernice, who I brought up in the last Solana video that I made, where he was talking about the naysayers being left for dead and saying that Solana was a fantastic investment. He's also saying that whether this turns out to be a bull trap or not, he's seen enough from Ethereum and Solana to reckon that they have seen the bottoms of the market. And whether you got in now or whether you got in lower or before, you're probably more than likely not going to see a downside for a good couple of years. That could obviously potentially be wrong, so it's not financial advice. But what we're seeing is Solana showing a fantastic opportunity. So potentially, if we are to see Solana returning to all-time highs, guys, then you're looking at 955%, Remember that at the end of the last bull market, we saw Bitcoin do 530% to get back to all-time highs, and then it did another 3x on top of that. Solana has the potential to do the very same, in my opinion. So 955% back to all-time highs is fairly solid and fairly expected for Solana. As long as Solana survives the bear market, then we're going to see it do a minimum of 955% in my eyes, which means you could invest $1,000 and you'd be left with pretty much $10,000 by the end of it. But if we take the Fibonacci tool from the swing high and drop it down to the swing low, we can see that the 1.618, which is typically where altcoins will return to once they breach past their previous all-time highs, then we can see where Solana could well end up, and it could potentially go way beyond. This is just speculation, of course, guys. So we can see from current prices all the way down here at around $24, back to all-time highs, we can see 966. To the 1.618, you're looking at a 15 and maybe even a 16x. So that means if you were to put in $1,000, you would be left with $16,000 at the end of it. Now, it's just not guaranteed, as I've already alluded to. But remember, from this level down here, the Bitcoin did like a 3 or 4x. We see Ethereum going to like $750. So if you were to speculatively put Solana up here at $750, then you got a 30x from a coin that is currently sat in the top 10 of the cryptocurrency market, which means its chances of going to zero is significantly reduced. It's already got a large market cap. It's got a lot of people who are passionately following it, and every time it dips lower, will happily go and buy it up. So you know that this coin is more than likely going to survive the market, and it offers the potential to see a 10, 20, 30x maybe in an absolutely crazy bull market. So are you interested in making a potential 30x for a very limited downside action? Personally, I am, and that's why I've been buying Solana since $8 and beyond. Now, if you want to keep up to date with all of these calls on different coins that I'm looking at right now, then make sure you get into the Telegram group down below. Hear from other people within that group, different coins that they've been looking at, different things that they've got going on when it comes to crypto, and that group's only going to keep growing as we move into a bull market and more people flood into the space. So make sure you get in early to get all the bonuses and benefits of being in part of a community once the bull market rolls around. As well as that, if you've been subscribed to my channel, you've probably seen me talking about Fairdesk, where I've been trading. Now set up a copy trading account where people can follow my trades. You can see that this is me, currently sat here, Peter from the House of Crypto, and I've placed 400 trades, of which apparently I've lost one, although that did break even, and I've made $17,234 for my community who are following me over there. You can go and click through the link down below in the description, go across and follow me there, and you can make a passive income just by clicking and following me there. Obviously, past results are not a guarantee of future results, so don't use money that you can't afford to lose, because there could always be another FTX news or whatever happen in the market. It could see us having a losing day. But other than that, you can see there's a few slots left for followers, and take part of that $17,000 chunk that my followers have been lucky enough to gain in the last 7 or 8 days. Then head to that link down below in the description, where you'll also get a sign up bonus as well. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, get into the Telegram, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the very next video.